Welcome back to the Property Forum Chat Show. Today I'm with Eamon Ahmed from Sterling Ackroyd Legal and Michelle Barringer from Red Brick Wealth. We're talking about buying properties off plan and the legal work associated with property investments. Right, let's get back to the discussions on the forum. We had a question from Amelia from North London, and this is one for Michelle. Is it possible to buy off plan with a mortgage, or would you have to be a cash buyer?
Some off-plan developments are available with a mortgage, but most aren't due to the fact that the developer requires the cash input to complete the project. However, off-plan development can be surprisingly affordable. You know, you can buy fractionally, you can buy student apartments, you can buy all sorts of things at very affordable levels. You'll also find that a lot of developers offer a structured payment plan. Okay, yeah. Therefore, you pay as the bill progresses, which not only helps to make it more affordable, but also protects your investment as you are going along.
Great. Okay, so it's sort of form of vendor financing, really, the developers.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. We've got a question here from Joyce from Holland. How well protected would my money be when buying an investment off plan? It concerns me that I'd be ultimately buying something that doesn't yet exist. And I guess that's a question we can both cover from different angles there. Let's start with Eamon. From a legal perspective, how can you protect yourself?
When it comes to protecting yourself, I mean, that's really your solicitor's job. I mean, to ensure that what you're about to buy or what you're sort of financing or staggered financing over a period of time actually exists. Does the developer have insurance? Is the developer liquid? Does it have huge borrowings? I mean, it is a risk, as with all investment, it's going to be a risk. Yeah. But I think due diligence. You're just going to have to check up and see whether find out a lot more about the developer.
And what sort of due diligence would you advise, Michelle, for an off-plan site?
So again, I would check out the developer, their background, their individual status within the company, make sure. Also, an important feature, which I think people often forget, is to check that the company you're paying your money to actually owns the asset, has the planning, and that it's not part of a partnership where the company that you put your cash in actually has no assets. That's a very common way that people can lose their money if things go wrong.
I think hear lots of horror stories.
Yeah. I mean, you need to know. You need to know what the warranties are. You need to know, what does a developer offer if they go bust. What insurances are there in place? Yeah. Is there a wider company? So, for example, some developers, they're sort of a parent company that holds different developments. Yeah. You need to know, is it warranted by this parent company? Yeah. Who will be liable should things go wrong? And do you have a direct approach to that person or that company? Is your solicitor able to grab that company and take some legal action against them should it go belly up?
Yes, you've got to go after your money. How do I get my money back?
What's the trail of the finance?
And again, I think going back to a point we raised earlier about whether it's a limited company or a sole trader will affect your rights of what you can go after if things go wrong. Yeah. Therefore, it's important for you to understand that risk and therefore make sure it's the right option for you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's a good question. Right, we've got another question here from Eric from Hammersmith. I've been told by different people to use a conveyancer, whilst others have advised me to use a solicitor. What should I do? And I guess if you could tell us a little bit about the differences there, Eamon.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, it's an age-old question, this, in our industry. Conveyancers are basically people who have experience in the conveyancing process, so buying and selling residential property, in most cases, leasehold, freehold. Solicitors are obviously qualified professionals who have been to university and they've sort of done the whole degree. They've had 2 years training and then they've qualified, and they have a more widespread knowledge of the industry, of the real estate industry, whether it be litigation, whether it be conveyancing, or anything else associated to it. It really depends who you're comfortable with, I think.
So it goes back a little bit to what we were saying earlier, that a good solicitor can help you negotiate a deal, can see opportunities in that offer perhaps.
Yeah, it's a wider spectrum.
And that will hopefully end up making you money in the long run, rather than perhaps just focusing on a conveyancer, which might be cheaper just to transact a deal. Correct. But it's very, serial. It's one path.
That's right. Yeah.
They don't really look outside of it.
And Nick, I mean, in the last sort of 10, 15 years, we've seen lots of firms sort of sprout up all over the sort of up north and south, and they're a bit more sort of a conveyancing farm. They're just sort of pulling in files in and out, and there's not that interaction that a solicitor has with the client.
I think long term you're also better with the solicitor. You can build a relationship with and help you manage your portfolio and give you advice on the best opportunities.
That's a lot of the people on the forum. They're always buying, they're always selling. They're developers. You know, there's people with different strategies, business strategies, and people that are in property and always buying and always selling. I think fundamentally they need a solicitor. They need someone who is there every time they call. They've got a relationship there. They can walk in, have a coffee and discuss a project.
Yeah, and if you've got that relationship, you can just answer the odd little question. You don't have to instruct them formally and have a big expensive fee on your hands for doing a deal. You might some deals might be abortive after a quick discussion with a solicitor.
Yeah, and that's not to say that conveyancers are in any way negative and bad, but because a lot of conveyancers I see are actually supervised by senior lawyers. So actually you're getting best of both worlds. So it really is
for the right transaction, basically.
Yeah, I really think it's just relationships. It's who you're comfortable with.
It's part of building your network, isn't it? We were talking about earlier, having a great network of people around you is going to help you to further your investment opportunities.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Okay, we've now got a question from Jason from Australia, of all places, over the other side of the world. So what types of off-plan investment are there in the UK? Are there deemed any that are lower risk than others? Would you like to answer that one for us, Michelle?
There's a whole range of off-plan investments in the UK, student rooms, care homes, hotel rooms, HMOs. There's a whole range of opportunities available. In terms of the risk, I think that depends on your personal profile, what you would consider to be a high risk and low risk, what suits you best, whether you're looking for long-term capital growth or higher returns in the short term with a less clear exit strategy. I think it depends on your options and what suits you. But the best thing to do is to have a look around on the market, see what's available. It changes every week. There's new opportunities coming all the time. At Red Brick Wealth, we're offered products on a daily basis. We would carry out our due diligence on those products, have a look at them, review them and make sure that we're confident that the developer is able to deliver what they're saying they can deliver.
So do some of the legwork for investors to save them doing all of that work.
Absolutely, and we will happily provide all our due diligence to investors. We would also advise them to do their own due diligence, not rely entirely on an agent, but we certainly would do that before we would market any product to make sure that we're confident and comfortable with it. I think once you've had a look at that, you then need to decide where you feel is the right place for you to put your money, whether that is something you understand more or less about. For example, if you work in the care sector, that might be the best option for you.
We have a natural synergy to that kind of product.
Absolutely, I think
there's a lot of international investors coming over, and I think they're looking for, they've heard in their country that there's a lot of growth in London at the moment. There's a lot of activity in London, hence why we've got so much Russian, Chinese, Indian activity at the moment. And I think also they need to find their location. They need to know where they want to invest, because England's a big old place, and London is different to Derby, say.
It's a hard decision from Australia to figure out where's the best place to invest. You need to find the partners. It's even more important, isn't it?
Correct. I think you need to find whether it's an agent that you synergy with, or a lawyer that you trust to find you stock. I don't know, but I think essentially choose your budget and your returns that you want you're looking for, because in some countries people are looking for 3% return, and others they're looking for 15%. So it's got to be a marriage with location. I want to buy something in London, and I want this return, and then you match it up really.
Absolutely.
Is London something that a lot of overseas investors aspire to, because it's the sort of jewel in the crown of UK property this year?
I do think that, yes, Nick. I think it's a bit of a myth, because I think they come over and think they're going to get really huge returns, but I certainly don't think it's a myth to say that London's property market is strong. It's very, very robust, flexible and strong, and it can take a hit. As we've seen in the last sort of 10 years,
it bounces back well.
It bounces back very, very well, probably better than most other countries. I mean, for example, the US. I mean, America is not as flexible as us, I think. So therefore, that's why we've got this myth around how good we are.
Definitely, okay. London, from my experience, is sort of first to dip a little bit and cool. It was the first to come back.
Correct.
So it's a sort of market leading.
I certainly agree with you. Yeah, I certainly agree.
I think for off-plan with fixed returns, they're very limited in London. So if you're looking for something that gives you a guaranteed return for a longer period, you're unlikely to find that within London. So you therefore need to do your research on where else you're going to look and what you're looking for, and understand a little bit about that area. and being.
So it really
overseas makes
changes
it
with
more
the product,
difficult.
really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on to our last question here. This is from Stephen from Cambridge. This is one for Eamon. The access right of way to the rear of my property has been blocked. My neighbour's built an extension on it without planning permission. Crikey. Nice neighbour.
Yeah.
The council advised my neighbour to apply for retrospective consent, which I'll object to. But what can I do about the extension over my right of way, as the council says it is a civil matter?
Right,
Bit of a complicated, detailed question there.
Yeah, a bit of a detailed question. I kind of know the gist of it. I mean, number one, he really needs to go and get himself a specialist property lawyer. Whether it be someone who does residential or commercial, but they will know their stuff.
Exact rights.
Yeah, he needs to go and get some due diligence done on that.
Yeah.
He needs to take in all the documents that he's got and go to see a solicitor who will basically look at the title deeds and establish to what extent that right of way belongs to him. And yes, they're right, it is a civil matter, so this is something that may need to go to court. And maybe a county court if it's under £50,000. If it's over, possibly a high court. But I think it's worth noting that litigation is not cheap, it's not easy, and it's not quick. So mediation probably is something that he needs to look into, given that it's his neighbour. He doesn't want to be in a ruckus with his neighbour for 5 years. It won't be good for the kids. So what you want to do is basically sit him down and say, look, I'm not happy with this. Can we compromise, or can you get rid of your building? I mean, I don't know, but again, a good solicitor will say to him, look, I will mediate before we jump into this.
So the key is get prepared and get your solicitor in place early, so that you're best prepared for the situation.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all we've got time for now. Thanks to Eamon and Michelle for joining us today and sharing your expertise with the viewers. And thanks to the viewers at home for watching. If today's chats have sparked any questions around property investment and buying off plan, please do pop online to www.propertyforum.com, where you can leave your questions for myself or our resident experts to answer. Thanks for watching the Property Forum Chat Show, the place to talk property on TV. And don't forget, we're also online at propertyforum.com 24/7. I look forward to chatting with you on the forum.